Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick here, dropping in on you. I hope that everything's going well in your world. And a lot of it is perspective. You're never going to have these prolonged periods where everything is perfect. It's how you view the challenges that determine how well things are going in your life. You can take on the challenges with a why me attitude and everything is going to suck. Or you can see the challenges as an opportunity to grow and understand that it's coming out on the other side of the challenge better than you started that advances you in life. And when you start to see the glass as being half full versus half empty, the entire dynamic in your life changes. So with that being said, it's about waking up in the morning and establishing a heart of gratitude. It's about waking up in the morning and determining that no matter what challenge you face, you're built for it. You are literally designed to take on the challenges. Good morning, everybody. Hello, Kim. Hello, Monica. Hello, Erica. Look, it's up to you. It's definitely up to you how you're going to face your life, because life isn't going to lie down for you. It's not going to roll over and play dead for you to have an easy trot down. And when you find these paths that appear to be easy, best believe that the destination is not going to provide you with the fulfillment that you're looking for. Anything worth having is going to require sacrifice. It's going to require hard work. It's going to require dedication and commitment. It's going to require a willingness to go through some things in order to have the things you want. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today in mindset. But first of all, I want to remind you that if you haven't gotten book number 20, which is the first book in a 6-book series on personal development, critical mass, you want to snatch this and get it. Also, one of the reasons why you haven't seen me as much as you normally do is we are grinding, trying to get I Am to the printer for the release of my 21st book and the second book in the series. It takes work, but if you want to pre-order that book, you can get it at a discount and get yourself set up with a free one-on-one breakthrough session with yours truly. The link and all of the information you need is going to be in the description box, the post box, depending on where you actually see this video. But definitely, if you're looking for a way to grow yourself and expand yourself intentionally, and intent is so important. When you set intent, the universe has to pay attention. That's the way the Almighty designed it, is that when you sit up and say, hey, this is what's going to happen in my life. This is how I'm going to grow. These are the areas I'm going to improve on this week, this month, this year. And you set that intent, and then you embark upon the endeavor of achieving those things. Exceptional and extraordinary things are bound to happen. The world, the universe, life responds to your intent. And intent coupled with action and consistency, but it definitely has a major role. So look, I'm not going to be long in this particular video, but I do want to tell you the importance. This is Mindful Tuesdays. This is where we talk about the importance of your thinking. And to me, in what I talk about and what I do and what I teach, Tuesdays and Fridays are to me like the most emphatic and powerful days. Because the mind is the determining factor of everything. So your mindfulness, how you think, your thoughts, your beliefs, all of those things are going to guide and dictate what you accomplish in life. If you don't master your mind, you will never master success. You will never master anything of any value. And so that's great. And then the quantum reality, the quantum world, quantum mechanics, quantum physics, all of that, that discussion is simply understanding how the mind moves the universe. It's literally understanding how you are literally stacking and building the edifice that will become the reality you live your life in each and every day with your thoughts, with your speech, with your expectations and beliefs, all of that, not and revealing it in a way that literally can be scientifically studied, measured, and predicted. You will be surprised at what you can gain just from those 2 days. The others are more about specific plans, specific strategies, and things of that nature. And you will even find then that I'm almost always going to integrate some form of the thought process of how you're thinking, because you can have the best plan in the world. I tell people all the time that 80 to 85% of any type of successful fulfillment on any plane, any industry, any level, whether it's relationships, marriage, business, finance, whatever, 80 to 85% of it is psychology. You can have the best plan and the best strategy. 15 to 20% is going to be strategy. It's going to be your plan, how you got it. But you can have the best plan. I've seen people with unbelievable plans that were, almost perfect, and just never got it done. I've seen people with poor plans and to no plans, but just simply had it in their mind they weren't going to be denied, and they got it figured out. It took them longer because they didn't have a plan and they didn't have a strategy. They ultimately ended up with one, but what they started out with was, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And what I'm going to talk to you about in today's Mindful Tuesday segment about thought processes is how we view success in other people that we aspire to emulate. Emulating mindsets, emulating state of minds and things of that nature is fine. Emulating personal attributes can be a problem because now you're trying to be them. But when you sit up and say, okay, they wake up every morning at a certain time, they read a certain amount of books, they have a certain way of viewing life. All of those things can be emulated because that's the dynamic of how God set the universe up. It's how you're going to engage things that's going to determine your success. But here's the thing. What I find with a lot of people is that they will sit up and look at the success of somebody else and get jealous or envious or, that's what I want right there. I've learned when I've watched leaders that I admire, when I've watched business people that I've admired, when I watch people that I look up to, I've learned that with that, there's a thing in Christianity that if you're a part of Christianity, you've heard this before. You don't know the story behind my glory. Man, I can tell you how true that is. See, we love to look at people and see the end result. We look at them and we see the exterior of their reality, and we don't know the internal turbulence that they've had to go through and endure. We don't know the sacrifices that they've had to make in order to have what they have. We don't know how many times everybody else was out partying and they were studying. We don't know how many times that they wanted to go on the trip with their buddies, but they stayed at home because they needed that money to invest. We don't know how many times they made the sacrifices. And see, that's what a lot of us want: success, but we don't want sacrifice. And success demands sacrifice. It demands that you give up something. I told you a long time ago that life will pay whatever price you demand of it, but it's going to make a counter demand. And most people don't want to meet the counter demand. See, when you make a demand on life, life is going to say, okay, like I may have told you this story before. I had a guy came to me. He's like, man, you got to help me. I'm about to lose my marriage. I'm about to lose my wife. And we sit down and we talked, and it didn't take long to find out what the problem was. He was more invested in himself. He had a skewed idea of what life was, and he was trying to live life through the lens that he had, through his own paradigm, without taking into consideration this beautiful woman he had that was raising his kids and keeping and taking care of his home. He had this mindset that he was a sole provider, something that's rare in this world today, and understandably so. But he had this idea: because I provide, I have a right to do whatever I want to on my free time. So this guy was literally working 50, 60 hours a week, but then he would come home, get dressed, shower, and go hang out with his boys 3-4 times a week. And then when he was at home, he was, off into the television or, trying to get to himself and rest or whatever and do it over again. And he didn't even see where it was a problem. So the first thing I did is I told him, okay, you got to stop. You got to tell your boys we might be able to hang out once a month. My wife comes first. Now, He agreed to do it because he wanted to save his marriage, but he didn't get the mindset. See, you can change behavior, but if you don't change the thermostat, the mindset of how you see things, the thing that tells you whether you're on or not, if your mindset says, I'm supposed to be doing what I want to do, and the hell with my wife, you can start doing what you think your wife needs you to do, but you still don't have the right energy, the right frequency. Here's why. He came back a few months. And he's like, Doc, I did everything you told me to. I haven't been out with my boys but twice in 3 months. And my wife has still got an attitude with me. She's still frustrated. And we got to talk to take life. I have to tell you why. You're doing it, but you don't want to be there. She can sense that. She can sense the energy. She can see it in your behavior. She knows that you're there because you feel you have to be. Nobody wants you there because you feel you have to be. She wants you to want to be there. You're going to have to reevaluate your priorities. You're going to have to make some sacrifices and see something other than yourself. And then he started to think about it. It took some time to change. Hey, just because you're the provider doesn't mean that you get to do what you want to do. You know, she's handling some things that you haven't given value to. She's raising your kids. She's teaching your kids. She's establishing a standard for your kids. She's keeping the house. She's making sure you come home to a peaceful environment as much as she possibly can based on what she's going through. You got to learn to see the value in that. She's just as valuable as you. And over time, he gets it, makes the sacrifices willingly, and it all changes. But the thing is, you don't get something greater without making a sacrifice from where you're at. See, you want the more, but you're not willing to give up. You want to really experience wealth, but you're not willing to give up the $70,000, $80,000 car because you like the way it makes you look and how people look at you when you drive it. You're not willing to pass up on some of those shopping sprees. You think you need to take 4 or 5 trips a year. You got all these other things, and then you're frustrated at times because it's, you know, that while it looks good on the outside, all it takes for you to lose your job in 3 months, it'll be hell to pay. But you don't want to make the sacrifice. You're not willing to get rid of the car and get something less expensive that's not going to drain your pockets every month. You're not willing to downsize in the house. Or other get to a point to where you connect with family and do a community or cooperative thing to where you all can build together and save together and invest together. You don't want to do that because, see, it's in this world, it's all about what I owned and how I did it and it's mine. But see, that's not necessarily the fastest pathway to wealth. It's not how you look, it's what you're doing and how that's working for you, but it requires sacrifice. Then we can get even into things that are even more valuable. See, materialism is a surface thing, you know, what you can afford, how much money you have and all that. You need money to operate. You need money to set your kids up, make sure that everybody's great and can do what they want to do. Nothing wrong with that. But how is your inner peace working for you? How are you seeing yourself? How are you feeling about yourself? Are you investing? Are you spending so much time chasing the validation and approval of other people that you're not actually working on yourself to validate yourself so that you see the value in yourself? You can never expect someone to really truly hold value in you or see value in you when you're not seeing it in yourself, because your value isn't what you say it is. It's what you are willing to accept. Whether you're talking about products or people. Your value is what you're willing to accept. If you have a Louis Vuitton purse and the retail price for this Louis Vuitton purse is $1,400, but you sell it for $300, what is it worth? At that moment, it's worth $300. Now, the person who gets it may see a greater value in it and may turn around and want to flip it and say, hey, look, I'm going to sell it for $1,200. I'm going to beat the retail price, but I'm definitely going to get more than what I spent in it. That's an investor mindset, by the way. Somebody saw something you didn't see value in. They saw greater value. They got you at your value point and then raised the value. It's a bunch of people that had relationships where they didn't see the value. Somebody else saw the value, took what you had at your price, then turned around and invested in it and recognized the true value of it, and they're living happily ever after, and you're still complaining about how trifling that person was. No, you just didn't see the value. You didn't know how to service the value. You didn't know how to acknowledge the value. And see, that's what happens in so many things. We don't know how to value things. And where your valuing starts is with you. When you truly value yourself, you want the best for yourself. You start to see things differently. You get less and less inclined to appeal to the random opinions of minimal-minded people, and you start to look at, what am I bringing to the world that validates this idea of my worth? And once you start to see who you are and what you're meant to do and the power you have within, you start to behave like it. And when you start to behave like it, you immediately, without even trying, raise the standard of engagement for the people who want to operate in your periphery, the people who want to be in your presence. They know they have to come at a certain level, because any other thing will easily get them pushed back. And so that's how you do what you accept. I hear women all the time talking about, I know my value, but you got this dude doing this, and you got this dude doing that, and he's doing all this and this and this. No. What you're saying is one thing, what you're accepting is another. What you're accepting is saying what your value is. Stop accepting anything less than what you know you deserve. I see a bunch of young women out here with these cats that's sitting up and doing nothing but in their presence and in their bed. You know your worth, but you're selling yourself short and you're selling yourself cheap. Know your worth. That should be a standard and a level at which a man engages you. Men, you know your worth, but every day you go out and let people handle you because you feel you have to, meaning you don't understand who you truly are. Know your worth, know your value, because it's going to be established not by a number you set or by a standard you say you set, but by what you accept. Shoot, you talk about the real estate market, you talk about houses, you can sit up and say, based on the comps or the comparative analysis of other homes that are selling in the area, my house is worth so many dollars per square foot. And ultimately it's worth this because my house is X amount of square feet. And then you turn around because you're desperate and motivated for whatever reason, and you accept $30,000 less. Not only do you lower the value of your house, you now have shifted the entire value structure and of the entire community and area in which you're selling your house. You just drove down the value because you sold cheap. And you can see that in social culture too. A lot of us are judged by the behaviors of other people. And so you've got to be even more aware of your value. But anyway, it calls for sacrifice. Like I said, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I'm not going to stay long, but I had to share that with you. You have to have a mindset that's willing to invest some things, to let go of some things in order to get some greater things. It's just the way that this universe is set up. You can't keep all of this, want that way over there and up there, and not be willing to shift some things and reinvest some things. You've maxed out at this level, and this is all you're going to get out of it. You've got to evolve in your thinking. You've got to evolve in your movement. You've got to evolve in your circle. You've got to evolve in all of that in order to get to the next level. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have an unbelievable day. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to be on the grind, get off of here. I got a session. After the session, I've got the gym. And after that, I'm going to be grinding, trying to get the final things on this book done so we can get it out this weekend. And excited about that. I always get excited about a book because that's a deployable asset, meaning that I've done it, I put it out there, and as long as I want it out there, it's out there serving me and serving my purpose. I get excited about that. Those are things that'll outlive me. So I'm excited. But if you haven't ordered it, get it. With that being said, I'm going to get off here. You guys have an unbelievable day. As I always say, live your life on full so that when you leave this place, you down eat. If you do that, everything else will take care of itself. On that note, I'm out.